callbacks, drag queens, and Star Trek. What else could you expect from the Hocus Pocus sequel? Here are some of the best blink and you'll miss it moments, and beware, spoilers ahead. The Salem of Hocus Pocus 2 is a town just as obsessed with witchcraft and Halloween as it was in the original film. However, this time, viewers are also treated to the Salem Halloween Festival, featuring the famous Sandy's Candy Cauldron and an apple bobbing booth that doubles as a drowning pool. Salem, in fact, is so obsessed with its heritage that it leans into its witch-burning history a little too hard sometimes. As Becca and Izzy head for the magic shop after school, Mayor Trask stops them to wish Becca a happy birthday. As they chat, a woman dressed as a witch can be seen behind them. The odd thing about the scene? She's tied to a tree with a pyre built under her, posing for photos while a man dressed as a Puritan holds the camera. It's a small moment, barely visible in the background and easy to miss, but subtly adds to the world building all the same. Hocus Pocus 2 weaves Salem's history in with the modern day, creating a running gag throughout the whole length of the film. Audiences might have noticed the film's large number of Puritan references, recalling the movie's opening shots when Reverend Trask banishes young Winifred. In the present day, the high school mascot is a Puritan, clearly visible through all the scenes set in the school, as well as on Mike and his fellow football players' jerseys. Later, the Sanderson sisters stumble on a look-alike contest, decided by a group of judges dressed as Puritans.
If these are all worshippers,
then this must be the altar.
It's clearly an element of the town's history that holds a lot of meaning, even if you have to give the movie a second watch to spot all the references. The Hocus Pocus costume department has always been part of the film's charm, especially since building an entire town full of Halloween fans requires a lot of creativity. The original Hocus Pocus film used authentic costumes from other Disney movies. Naturally, the Hocus Pocus 2 costume department also gave audiences the chance to find several cheeky callbacks to the original film.
Mom? What are you supposed to be?
Madonna.
In Hocus Pocus 2, look for the return of Madonna stomping away in the streets during the musical dance number. Fans might also have seen that the Supremes are back. In the original film, the trio of women wearing sparkly red dresses can be seen in the front row right below the stage, becoming bewitched along with the rest of the crowd. In Hocus Pocus 2, all three are dancing through town in the spellbound flash mob. One of the classic scenes in the original Hocus Pocus is when the Sanderson sisters encounter the flirtatious devil, his disappointed wife, and their demonic, yappy little dog. Back in 1993, the devil was played by the legendary Gary Marshall in an uncredited cameo. His wife was played by his real-life sister and actress Penny Marshall. Though both stars are sadly deceased, the two lovable oddball characters are back in Hocus Pocus 2 for those who watch closely. While searching for Mayor Trask, Winifred flies past the window of a house where two men are watching that scene on TV. Later, we see two people dressed in costume as the devil and his wife standing behind Mayor Trask in line for caramel apples. Fans of RuPaul's Drag Race should have noticed some familiar faces on screen during Hocus Pocus 2, and honestly, who better to face off against the three original witches? The Sanderson sisters crash a Halloween lookalike competition for themselves, coming face to face with Ginger Minge, Kimora Hall, and Cornbread. As a notorious drama queen, Winifred is quick to banter with the other Winifred.
Lose the teeth.
Mind your business, girl.
All right, people.
Director Ann Fletcher personally invited Ginger Minge to join the cast. In an interview with 2Fab, Ginger said that watching the three witches flying around during filming caused her to tear up. All three of them just take off flying over our heads, and that was the moment where I just had tears streaming down my face. 9-year-old me is living their best life. Only 4 of the original Hocus Pocus actors returned for the second film: Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy, Bette Midler, and the great Doug Jones. That's right, Billy Butcherson, the gentle zombie and ex-lover, is back for Hocus Pocus 2. In the film's opening scenes, Winifred is told she'll be marrying John Pritchett. It's then that young Winifred informs the whole town that Billy Butcherson is her soulmate, especially since they shared that kiss in the graveyard. Scandalous. And now Billy Butcherson is resurrected once again in service to the Sanderson sisters. However, this time, Billy wants the world to know that it was only one kiss, not a fully committed relationship, a running gag that lasts throughout the film. But the real detail is in how the actor managed to look exactly the same almost 30 years later. Not only did the costume department create an identical prosthetic for his face, but they used the actual wig from the original film.
The wig had been sitting on display at someone's creature shop, and they just took it off and put it back on me.
The original Hocus Pocus is filled with comedic asides, most of which have helped to make the enduring film a cult classic. Hocus Pocus 2 is no different, and in fact calls back some of the jokes and lines from the first film. The most prominent example comes about 2/3 of the way through the film. On seeing his not-so-beloved Winifred again, Billy calls her a withering hag. Fans of the first film should recognize this insult as Thackeray Binks makes his last stand in front of the sisters.
You hag! There are not enough children in the world to make thee young and beautiful.
So they promptly turn him into a cat, as you do. However, like many misunderstood women, Winifred is happy to reclaim the insult when the sisters search the high school for Max, Danny, and Allison. The original Hocus Pocus makes it clear that the Sanderson sisters are servants of Satan. Allison even tells Max and Danny that their beloved book was given to them by the devil himself. However, Hocus Pocus 2 did a bit of retconning with the introduction of an evil female mentor dubbed Mother Witch, who gives them the book instead.
Magic has a way of uniting things that ought to be together.
But despite the switcheroo, die-hard audiences of the original Hocus Pocus will know that the mother isn't some random character thoughtlessly added into the new film. The Sanderson sisters mention their mother several times in the 1993 movie, once in a calming circle reminiscing about Mother Scorpion Pie, and later when they salute their long-lost mother with their brooms. Only the most eagle-eyed viewers would have caught the name of the high school displayed in the background behind Becca. In this scene, Becca and Dizzy discuss their Halloween plans, and right behind them is Samuel Skelton High School, written right over the archway. While it's tempting to connect the school's name to the Lovecraft song Skeleton Sam that plays at the beginning of the film, Samuel Skelton is actually a real person from Salem's history. Skelton was the first pastor of the first church in Salem, founded on August 6, 1629. In modern-day Salem, the Sanderson sisters' spooky old house has been turned into a delightful magic shop. Naturally, this being a Disney film, viewers should pay close attention to the decorations shown in the background. For instance, fans of Disney's classic Haunted Mansion ride should recognize the skull of the Hatbox Ghost standing out from a group of skulls in one corner. That's not all, though. Sharp-eyed viewers might have seen the words Salem's Apothecary written on the corner above the counter, a clever Easter egg since the Sanderson sisters talk about their father's apothecary several times during the film. Finally, in one scene, you can spot a basket of plush, yarn-haired Sanderson sister dolls on a table. No one would argue that book had an important role in the first Hocus Pocus. The spellbook, which was apparently bound in human skin, became an iconic part of the Hocus Pocus mythology and aesthetic. However, it's in Hocus Pocus 2 that book finally gets a chance to shine, showing off its personality, demonstrating its opinions, and even making choices about who's going to be its next witch. Fans may have noticed that when Book is hiding from Becca amongst the other non-sentient spellbooks, it physically sweats because, get it? It's bound in human skin. As a side note, there's also a reference to Star Trek when Book refuses to open onto the correct page for the Magicae Maxima spell. In a rage, Winifred shouts a famous Star Trek line.
Resistance is futile.
Did that line make it in because Doug Jones, the actor and contortionist who plays Billy Butcherson, stars as Saru in Star Trek Discovery? Or was it just a fun thing to shout out at a book that suddenly decided to have a mind of its own? Moviegoers should know this one already. stay until after the credits. Hocus Pocus 2 is no different from any other superhero film, Muppet movie, or animated film in modern history. There's always something to see after the credits roll. The original Hocus Pocus shows Max and Danny's parents, Jenny and Dave, emerging from the town hall a little worse for wear after their night dancing. In Hocus Pocus 2, fans are treated to the possibility of yet another film. Cobweb, Gilbert's black cat, jumps onto a shelf in the back storeroom, nosing among the boxes. Naturally, audiences can see that one of the boxes is labeled BF number 2 Candle. Could it be that audiences are getting a third Hocus Pocus? Let's hope so.